This is a Saturday Morning TVLog from Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. Welcome to another Saturday Morning TVLog, and this time around it's the Fabulous Funnies, brought to us by Filmation. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Doyle, the Big D to you. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So this week's Saturday Morning TVLog is probably another rarely remembered show from long ago, and it's a show that recently celebrated its 45th anniversary not so long ago, The Fabulous Funnies. Originally premiering on NBC in September of 1978 and running for only one season, this is an animated series that's actually an anthology of stories based on American comic strips, similar to that of Filmation, who produced this show, their 1971 show, Archie's TV Funnies. Only it's just slightly a little more different. Now, some of the characters from that show, from the latter, appear in this show, including Broom-Hilda, the Captain and the Kids, which that's better known to you now as the Katzenjammer Kids, Nancy and Sluggo, and Emmy Lou. Plus, also along for the ride are, Alley-Oop and the Tumbleweeds. Unfortunately, for only one episode, the character designs closely mimicked the comic strips, so the animators had to animate in several different styles of the for the program. Now, it was noted by critics that the show's comic potential was blinded by the network's demand that the show promote pro-social messages for the child audience. This was especially noticeable when rowdy characters like the Captain and the Kids were obliged to spread messages for stuff like politeness and restraint. The LA Times called the show's moralizing heavy-handed. Yeah. Now, each episode contained a segment with Broom-Hilda, Alley-Oop, and the Captain and the Kids, with other segments appearing on a rotating basis. Fuzzy, who spoke in rhyme in the Alley-Oop comic strip, does the same thing. He serves as the show's host, and as I've said, mainly spoke in rhyme. Each episode had an overall theme based on a pro-social message. For example, Fear dealt with overcoming trepidation and included Fuzzy's narration. We're here to make one thing clear. A lot of woe comes from undue fear. Other topics include drinking, smoking, schoolwork, health, voting, and the environment. However, there was a rights problem. The first episode aired with a segment based on Tumbleweeds, but Filmation didn't actually have the rights to the strip. So the characters just still appeared in the intro, though, and the introduction of the characters we get to see in the show by Fuzzy. Tom K. Ryan, the creator of the strip, said that he would give approval for his comic to appear in the show pending a look at the scripts and designs, but the producers believed that he had already given permission. After the first episode aired, Ryan called Lou Scheimer and said that he wouldn't sue as long as the strip didn't appear in any further episodes. So they didn't do no more segments, they just let the characters appear in the intro and, well, just partially the intro, just their faces, and in the introduction to the show before we see the first segment. Anyway, after a total of 13 episodes were produced and aired over its one season, the show ended in December of 78, but it continued to be rerun for the rest of the season. Now then, it did get some reception and what have you. Now, according to the Encyclopedia of American Animated Television Shows, one person wrote, for the most part, they were effective adaptations on a visual level. However, the advanced age of most of the properties, which of course Katzenjammer, Captain and the Kids dated to 1898, Alley-Oop and Nancy to the 1930s, and Broom-Hilda to the 1970s, meant that adapting them to the restrictions of television animation in the 1970s required unwelcome compromises to the material that impaired their abilities to tell stories as effectively as they had in the comics. Now, another person agreed in children's television, the first 35 years that the show sacrificed humor and fun for preaching. And another thing, television cartoon shows, these were from books and what have you. Another person adds, what, pray tell, did the Mia critics expect when such marvelously uninhibited, havoc-wreaking characters like Alley-Oop and the Katzenjammer Kids were required to warn the kids at home to behave like responsible ladies and gentlemen? Especially in the case of the Katzenjammers, the whole point of newspaper strips in the first place was to give rule-bound children and adults a cathartic, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that word, outlet for their latent antisocial tendencies. With the noblest motivations in mind, the series managed to rob its characters of their very reason for being. Well, I can understand that. Anyway, now we do have a pretty good voice acting cast, though. Voicing, we have, well, late great voice actress June Foray voicing Broom-Hilda this time, since she didn't do it in Archie's TV Funnies. She also voiced Sluggo, which I do believe she voiced him on the show. I could be wrong. As well as Olaf in Alley-Oop, as well as the Katzenjammer Kids, Hans and Fritz. Jane Hamill voiced Nancy and Emmy Lou, while Alan Oppenheimer, who was pretty big at Filmation at the time, voiced Captain Katzenjammer, Gaylord, Irwin, Velbert, Inspector, and in their only segment, the Tumbleweeds. Bob Holt voiced Alley-Oop, King Guzzle, and Fousey. Now, Bob Holt was, already well known for work at rival studio Hanna-Barbera, though. But anyway, yeah, he worked with Filmation. Now, of course, Gaylord, Irwin, and Grelbert were, of course, the characters in the Broom-Hilda strip. Now, I think Oppenheimer did Grelbert a good job. Kind of sounded like in the same style he would later voice other characters like Skeletor and He-Man, as well as Ming the Merciless in Flash, Gordon and Oil, Ken, Harry, and the New Adventures of Mighty Mouse and Heckle and Jekyll. The latter two, of course, would premiere the following year. And, of course, Inspector is, of course, from the Katzenjammer Kids. Just thought I'd point that out, just in case. Now, again, a total of 13 episodes have been produced and aired. And now, of course, the series has been released on physical media here in the U.S. and overseas and what have you. And do you think the show's tough to find? Well, yes and no. Sure, these titles might be a little tough to... These may not be able to be released on physical media now. Well, as of now. Now, it was to be released more recently by the now defunct BCI Eclipse, but they canceled it. However, there is a way. You can find a few full episodes on YouTube, and there's also some that have some videos that have 2 episodes together. But don't worry, I found that... No, wait, there's 3 of them. Sorry about that. No, wait a minute. Oh, dear, I'm sorry, I'm getting mixed up. There's one video that has 2 episodes together, and there's a few episodes separately and what have you. Oh, dear, I apologize for that. But anyway, the Fabulous Funnies, I thought it was pretty good. After I watched the series, I am, as much as I could find it on YouTube, I will say it's very good, and it has a very fun tune and theme song, what have you. So anyway, yeah. Such a fun show it is. Let me give you a better look at some of the characters. Here's a shot with just about every single cast member. You see Alley-Oop and his friends, the Katzenjammer Kids. You see Broom-Hilda, Emmy Lou, Nancy. Oh, yeah. That's a pretty good cast, you know. Here's an actual anime itself featuring the show's host, Fousey from Alley-Oop. So, anyway, there you go. There's the Fabulous Funnies for you. Now, again, as I've said before, you can find some episodes. There are some episodes on YouTube. Some are separate, and some are in 2 two episodes per video that might be taken from videos that were released in the UK. But anyway, I think if you like some of these comic strips, then I think you'll feel right at home with this. Or if you've seen Archie's TV Funnies, then you should feel right at home with the Fabulous Funnies. Now, there actually was a special that came out 2 years later called The Fantastic Funnies, but not to be confused with that. And it was actually a special that aired on CBS, produced by Mendelsohn Melendez Productions, that featured the Peanuts gang, who are already having their specials produced by it. It also introduced Garfield in animated form, plus a lot of others, and was hosted by Lonnie Anderson. But I'll talk about that in a future vid and what have you. But like I said, The Fabulous Funnies, great show. Another good piece of work from the folks at Filmation. I do like it. And I would recommend you give it a try if you like some of these comic strips, and I think you'll feel right at home with it. So what did you think of The Fabulous Funnies? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And we'll have another video coming up soon tonight. So if you like this, consider checking out these other Saturday morning TV logs. And I might as well go ahead and give you some of these fun-filled comic strip themed TV shows. In the upper left-hand corner is the Saturday Morning TVLog. This is one of my earlier vids, but I may do a revisited one on this, and that's the Flash Gordon series Filmation did in 1979. Or go to the upper right-hand corner and see the Saturday Morning TVLog on the Charlie Brown and Snoopy show from 1983. Or if you would like maybe another big anthology show, go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my Saturday Morning TVLog of the Croft Super Show, featuring numerous shows like Wonder Bug and Electro Woman, Diet Girl, and others. In the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., as well as the Saturday Morning TV Log, then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching, and next week's Saturday Morning TV Log is the ABC Weekend Specials. So until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.